kind of guy that could get you a buyout, dude. You already agreed to it. Jay Jacobs gave you the buyout, dude. And you always wanted to work with Coach Cal or whatever, and so now you get to, and you guys suck, and don't call me a bitching about it, dude. I mean, you're the defensive coordinator. Why don't you fix it? I got an idea. Why don't you go play golf and figure it out? Because if they're... Hey, I got to go, man. Good luck on the way back. Hey, guys, what's going on, guys? I was just talking to somebody there. This guy I know likes to play golf. Word, big day for the Auburn Tigers. Beating Kentucky again. 4th consecutive year that they have beaten Kentucky. First time since 87-90 that the Auburn Tigers... Mike's a little hot there. The Auburn Tigers have been victorious over UK in 4 consecutive seasons. That is huge. And if you are wondering, and I'm sure Hornatius is out there, who the true blue blood of this league is, I think it might be Bruce Pearl and his Auburn Tigers. I'm saying. And that's coming from a UK graduate. Yes. I know. There's UK people out there. Honestly, our friends at Rupp's Rafters, they're not in a good place right now. I mean, they're not in a good place. So, let's just, I know guys don't feel for them. I don't either, but they're upset. Pocket Watch says I was talking to the UK basketball assistant to the head coach. I don't know why Tony always calling me, man. He got that buyout, and now he wants to come back, and there's just no room for him here. I'm sorry. Anyway, huge win, man. Huge. Absolutely massive dub for the Auburn Tigers to come over there and beat that Kentucky ass again. Oh, man, it's messed up, isn't it? Sorry, guys. Thanks for the loving it on there, TJ. Appreciate it, bro. Little gift from my wife a couple years ago. I just hadn't worn it. A Stone 20 says Auburn broke UK 2 years ago. Dude, there's a lot of truth to that because UK was doing fine until Auburn came along and skull dragged them in the regional final. And I mean, I didn't beat them by a bunch of points, but that was an emotional. They were crestfallen after that one, and it does seem like Auburn has broken Kentucky because this Kentucky team they've been playing some decent basketball lately. Although Alabama hit them pretty hard, and an Auburn team that was 0-4 in conference play not long ago just beat them again. So I don't know. Jazzy Joe in the house, my man. What should we give Jazzy Joe? I think we need one. We need a good one for him. Yeah, we need a good one for Jazzy Joe, my man. I also want to give a shout out to folks who have super chatted already. Pocket Watch, before we even came on, dropped a super chat. Thank you, bro. And also Hornasius, who is the worst poster ever, but also a good dude too. Appreciate you, bro. Jazzy Joe, I got this one for you, Big Daddy.
You could drop a tarantula into his shorts and he'll still be cool.
My man. Let's go over to our box score, and there's a number that's not going to show up on this box score that you guys need to know about because it's kind of a secondary stat. Now, I did write a big post this week about 2-point shooting, and Auburn was fine today. They go 18 of 36 from 2, which is 50%. Not great. I think they've never lost a game, or they haven't lost a game this season where they shot under 55%, I think, from 2. And they never won a game where they were over, whatever. Anyway, 50's a little bit better than average for them. They usually, when they lose, they're usually in the 47 range, I think. Anyway, the big number that does not show up on here is points per possession. In the first half, Auburn was .677, which is dog shit, okay? It's really bad. In the second half, they go to 1.273, so they double their points per possession output. Look, man, this was not the kind of game that Auburn wanted to play. Auburn loves to run the basketball. They love to run the floor. They like to dunk. They like to alley-oop, and they did some of that today. But the way UK kind of ran their offense, which is deliberate, held the ball, essentially the polar opposite of what Alabama does or did, it just cuts down on Auburn's fast break ability. And you could see there on the stats, the fast break points were, 6 for Kentucky and 8 for Auburn. That's a very low number for Auburn, but you've got to find a way to manage. And when this team goes on a run next year and they burrow deep into the NCAA tournament, they're going to rely on experience, the kind of experience that they gained today, playing a solid Kentucky team and overcoming the things that UK was doing to them to bother them. And they couldn't get out in transition. So they found another way to do it. Travis P says, anytime you beat Kentucky is a good day. I tend to agree with that. And now we laugh at Kentucky for... But anyway, JC23 says a W is a W. I agree with that. Also, 12 of 15 from the charity stripe was huge in the second half. Absolutely. We could see that in the first half. Auburn had a low free throw number. Let's see. 3 of 6 in the first half. 12 of 15 in the second half. Huge. And that's because Auburn wasn't getting in transition, so they started driving the basketball, which is something that Sharif is really good at. And when you got a point guard who is so capable of getting around people, coming out, around the horn, which is the way Auburn likes to run this, high screens, create a little bit of space for Sharif, and then you see what he does. Now, the design plays that Auburn was so successful with against Georgia, specifically the pick and roll rollers, weren't working because Kentucky was lagging off of a little bit, and so they even tried a couple different things.
Come after me. I'm a man. I'm 40.
Oh, my God. Patrick D. He makes his return, and my God. Look at this guy. Why not AU? Says, love how Flanny is a vet as a sophomore. Huge game today from Al Flanagan. Really, he was the most buoyant player on the team. 6 of 14 from the floor. Not great, but 8 of 8 from the free throw line. 9 rebounds. The guy, considering the fact that he's not a huge person, is a great rebounder. Auburn finishes with, they actually out-rebound Kentucky. He's a big part of that because he has 9. And Patrick D, who knows his basketball, who's been with us all through the basketball season last year, and of course he's jumping in now, knows that Flanagan was huge today. And there have been some folks out there who have been shitting on Flanagan, not necessarily recently, but let's say 5 or 6 games ago. He had a few bad games. He was having to run point, which is not what he does. Now that he's doing what he normally does, he's a pretty damn good player. And I would argue he's the most improved player I've ever covered at Auburn from one season to the next. And we talked about the numbers last week on the show. Every single stat that's meaningful is up huge. I mean, his 2-point percentage is up like 30 points. His 3-point percentage is up like 25 points. His free throw percentage, remember, he was terrible as a free throw shooter last year. He's good now. It's because he works constantly. Just like you do, Patrick D. Appreciate you, bro. Good golly. What an absolute beast. I mean, you're always that way. We also had a super chat come through from Huntsville Tiger 87. This is Wardam Eagle JGT. Feels great beating Coach Cal. He hates him. I could see why somebody would not like Cal very much. Basketball coaches tend to be kind of punchable, right? And it seems like Cal, with his whining, he whines a lot, makes it even harder to appreciate him, and I understand where you're coming from on that. Also, a super chat coming through from Crocodile, who says, Hope BMAT asks about why free throws improved in the second half during the next presser. As we were joking on the bunker, BMAT had asked BP the other day on the Zoom, I think it was yesterday, about free throw shooting, and BP said, we've been so much better, and I think it's because nobody ever asks us about it. So thanks, Brian, for asking us about it. And then Auburn's free throw shooting. I mean, it wasn't bad today, though. A little slow in the first half, but 80% in the second half, including 8 of 8 for Flanny. Ain't a problem. AU Storm 20 wonders if the seat is getting hot for Cal. Interesting question. It sounds crazy. I don't know. Be Easy's with me, though. It says Flanny is the most improved player I've seen from year to year. I'm talking about ever. And I don't think people realize how good, just statistically, he's gotten, how much improvement there's been. Ambitious Engineer says, appreciate the super chat, brother, says, to play this bad and still beat a team like Kentucky says a lot. Yeah, they just grinded this one out. And that might be the most impressive thing about it from an Auburn perspective is that this wasn't the way they normally play. They had to adapt a little bit to the way Kentucky plays, and they still were able to beat them doing that. It's because, usually Kentucky back 10 years ago, 5 years ago, Kentucky was so much longer than Auburn. BP isn't having that. He's long at every position now. Maybe not Sharif, although he's not shorter than average. He's average probably length, but you got Cambridge, who's exceptionally long. JT's exceptionally long. Dylan Cardwell's exceptionally long. Stretch is exceptionally long. You got a lot of dudes out there, and they get a lot of hands in passing lanes. They cause a lot of trouble and a lot of anxiety on the ball. Whew. This team's going places. What's interesting, though, you guys, those of you who watch the show every single time we go out, and, I mean, all you got to do is look at the chat to know who I'm talking about. Patrick D, of course, you guys know him. He's an absolute beast. But AU Taxman's always here with us. Alpha Tiger, AU Storm 20, Auburn alumni. All the basketball people, Canoe Man, Pocket Watch, obviously those two. Those of you who are with us all the time, nobody was freaking out. When Auburn was 0-4 in the league and they had lost that game to Alabama, was it 94-90, you guys weren't losing your shit. I don't think there was one person in this chat that was even down because they knew what time it was, man. They knew what time it was. They knew this was a year about getting experience. And you saw it in that Alabama game. You saw Sharif out there and what he was doing to that offense. And nobody was down. And now guess what? Auburn fought like hell in the Alabama game. Came up a little bit short. No big deal. Next time out, they absolutely throttle. Georgia with just some really outstanding technical basketball, just some sweet, like drawn-up scripted plays that were working really, really well. And then against Kentucky, it was a different deal. They had to adapt, and they did. Patrick D says Stephen Pearl should be coach in waiting. I think he's done a tremendous job with his scouts. If you had told me that 5 years ago, I would have laughed at you, I think, but I don't laugh now. He's come a long way, and he's taken that part of the job very seriously. Not that he didn't before, but, I mean, I think he's really trying to be that guy. And we'll see what happens. Something to think about down the road, although BP's only 60, and I think he would love to coach, a good while longer. He feels like there's a lot to do here still because he's finally got Auburn to where he wants it to be. Interesting idea. Great scouting. They've been doing a great job. And Chad's been doing good stuff. Chad Fran doing some stuff, and Burgo, of course. Well, I need to do a story on Burgomaster. I don't. Even some of you hardcore basketball heads may not know who he is, but I'm not exactly sure what his official role is. But he's like the director of strategy, is what he really is. And you see him; he has the first seat on the bench, which when I was at UK was an old dude who's the equipment guy. But whatever. For Auburn, it's a different deal. If you see BP turn into him a lot, he's always got Burgo's got himself he's got himself a big spiral bound notebook, and he's got a lot of information in there, and he's always got something with that. Canoe Man says Pearl, meaning Stephen Pearl, is getting close to being up there with Burgo with his scouts. That's one of the big reasons I think Auburn is awesome, is because their scouting is just sick. It is rare. In fact, I can't think of a game. I have to go back to last year, a game where I thought they just got outfoxed. They don't get outfoxed. They get outplayed. The UCF game earlier this year I thought was particularly ugly, but I don't think it was a scouting problem. AU Storm believes Burgo is one of the main reasons why we went to the Final Four. And what's cool about Burgo is that he's kind of a new person. Like, he's a new kind of job because he's just basically a scout and an analyst in a way, like a football analyst, but like the king football analyst. Like, yeah. But I don't know as though he would ever be an actual assistant coach because I don't know if he's much of a recruiter. He's just more of a X's and O's like genius. I don't know. DFY says, I like JT, talking about JT Thor, who's really coming to his own these last couple games. He seemed kind of spazzy in the early part of the season. Didn't quite, fit in. I didn't think he understood exactly what his role was. He goes 2 of 9 from the floor today, which is not great. 6 rebounds, which is okay for 24 minutes. Plus minus is 2. But he had some crucial plays there down the stretch. He had a really nice Euro step to finish in transition off a steal by somebody else, I think, and then he had a steal of his own and went wire to wire, got fouled, didn't get the shot in, actually hit the free throws. 2 huge plays late in the game. Let's talk a little bit about that late turn of events. You got Coop had the alley-oop to Jalen. Big play right there. Coop then drove the lane to his left, finished with his right in traffic. Another big bucket there. And then JT kind of went to work. It was huge. Everybody kind of, BP was saying 5 years ago, we're at our best when everybody contributes. And you look at that, I'll pull it up here because I don't have it up right now. You look at that box score, and everybody's contributing in some way. I mean, Sharif has 11 points on 3 of 13. We ought to talk about that at some point because his shooting has been kind of yucky. But, I mean, would you guys not want Sharif out there? Hell no, you want him because he's so quick and he's setting so much up. He gets the offense moving. And here's the thing of it. They don't even have JP out there. He missed, 3.5 games now. Missed the second half of the A&M game and then the 3 since then with concussion, having concussion issues. He tried to go before the Georgia game, and he was woozy. Still, sucks. He tried to go again yesterday, and they just didn't feel comfortable about where he was, if his health-wise. So he sat out again. They're going to try him again, I think, Tuesday. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe Monday, excuse me. He's the best shooter they got. I mean, we're talking about a kid who's, 44% from 3 this year? Take a look here on the Ken Palm. Yo. Justin Powell is 19 of 43 from 3, which is 44%. Leads the team a little bit ahead of Al Flanagan. And we looked at Al Flanagan's numbers the other day. I posted them, but I'll post them again because I don't care. You got to look at the improvement this dude has shown year over year. It's just absolutely outrageous. All right, these are Al Flanagan's year-over-year numbers. Look at this shit. All right, so the bottom numbers are last year, and then the top numbers are this year. So free throws, he's up, almost 30 points? And this does not include today's performance. He was 8 of 8 at the line, so his percentage is going to go up even more. On two-pointers, he's up, 11 points? Three-pointers, he's up, 25 points? I mean, this is just ridiculous. You just don't see people do stuff like this. It's like it's supernatural. So Al Flanagan to me is just insane, and I'm glad Patrick D's on board. Not that you guys aren't, the rest of y'all, but I think he's onto something there. Patrick D also thinks that JP may not play for a while. I have those concerns as well. I mean, for him to this has been almost 2 weeks. Now, he took kind of a weird hit. He kind of got hit in the back of the head or the back side. By a teammate, of course, by a stretch. But anyway, it was kind of a weird hit. And not a usual, usually you get hit up here, but he got hit in the backside. I don't know. Hope he's going to be good soon. Although Auburn's still making it work without him. Auburn did not shoot well from 3 today, but that's just not really been this team's MO at all, right? I mean, Flanny's a good three-point shooter. Generally, Jamal is, and that's about it if JP's not out there. Let's see. Goose Flat says, JGT, how many times has UK beat us since we beat them in the tournament in 19? I don't know the answer to that. I forget these. I forget these numbers. Let me see. This is from last year. They played Kentucky. Auburn won 75-66 at home, and then Auburn lost in Rupp their next to last game. Oh, no, two games before the end of the season, before COVID got us. They lost in Rupp by 7. So Auburn would be, 1-1 since then. But UK, I don't know. They were pretty good last year, though, honestly. They were 25-6 when things went awry. But they lost 3 conference games, and one of them was Auburn. I don't know. I know I missed some super chats. I've been kind of on a roll here. Crocodile, Ambitious Engineer, I mentioned that earlier. Also, Brad E. We know him as E or Easterwood. This is another birthday present of beating Jay's UK squad. This never gets old, man. It'll be like 2035. We'll be doing these shows, and you guys will be like, right here, JG. I'm like, I'm fine with this, man. I'm totally at peace with it. And not even upset. I don't know. I mean, I went to Kentucky, but I mean, that wasn't 98. I graduated in 98. Like, you know what I'm saying? Jazzy Joe, my main man, is here. As I mentioned earlier in the show, drops a super chat. Says, JG, my girl is listening, and she's a bammer. Womp, womp, womp. We got to give her one of these right here. Everyone give her a big War Eagle. She'll love it. Hope you guys are having fun, Jazzy, wherever you are, bro, out there. We got Leif B in the house as well. Brad E drops another one. Oh, wait. You didn't have to do it twice, bro. Sorry I didn't call you out initially. I got on a rant. My main man, this is Stu Pup right here. Says we're going to win more than 3 SEC games, Mr. Ken Palm. Boom! I do think Ken Palm had that. We were talking about that. It's probably 3 games ago when they were kind of putting the season out, kind of laying it out. They had Auburn winning like, what, was it 1 or 2? And now this is before they've entered the Kentucky data. They've got Auburn finishing 6-12 in league play, which I bet you won't happen because I bet you at some point Auburn's going to get caught in a COVID vortex, either of its own making or of somebody else's making. You know, they had 2 games canceled in the last window due to COVID testing / positives. I just think it's going to be tough to kind of finish out the year and not get held back at some point. But anyway, we don't have to talk about that. Still waiting for Ken Palm to add that data from the Kentucky game in there. They gave Auburn a 49% chance of winning that game. Although I thought Auburn would win it. The next game is going to be tougher at Arkansas, a team that's been playing really good basketball lately, although they got crushed at LSU the other night. How bad did that game end up being? They lost 92-76 at LSU, although LSU's pretty good. That's pretty good. You know, you look at it now, Arkansas has lost 3 of their last 4. But they've lost to Missouri, Tennessee. Missouri's good. They had a big win today. And then LSU's pretty good too. And I asked again, I was doing a podcast yesterday with John Clay, one of my mentors. He covers University of Kentucky for the Lexington Herald Leader. And I asked him, he didn't ask me, but I just interjected into his show and said, how is Will Wade still coaching? I don't know. We talk about this on the show. How do you on a federal wiretap? How do you do that? Let's see. Patrick D says Bama is obliterating Arkansas. Is that true? Maybe Alabama's better than I thought they were. Not that I thought they sucked or anything. Casa DP says all my fam in Lexington are hashtag sad face. I'm not surprised by that. Let's see. Josh D says, any ideas on who Coach Harsin will hire for LB coach? Yeah, we got to talk about that stuff too. We got a bunch of assistant coach hires on the football side that we need to talk about. A bunch. Goose Flat wants to know, JGT, what's your thoughts on Rock returning and when can we hear about the final hires? I think there's only one left now. They're still looking for a linebackers, well, technically, outside linebackers coach. They hired Cornelius Williams, C-Will, from Troy University today. Cornelius has been at Troy for, I think, the last 6 years. He played football at Hoover High School. He then went and played in college at Troy. He coached, he started out, I think it was at Murray State, and then he was at UAB with Bill Clark there early on before they got cut, and then they came back. And he's been at Troy for a while now. So that hire was made official this morning around 11 o'clock Central, I think. Although we had talked to you guys about it on the bunker a little bit before that. And my personal opinion on that, the bunker was kind of split, like why. And I was actually talking to my wife about this at lunch today. If South Carolina sucked last year and they were 2-8, it is kind of weird to go poach all of them, right? You get Rock from there, you get Bobo from there, you get Will Friend, who just come over though. He was really at Tennessee last year, but Tennessee kind of sucked too. Then you get a guy from Troy, like. Wouldn't you want to go get dudes from like Clemson or Alabama or LSU or Ohio State? Or I don't know. But here's the thing, man. The bottom line is they're either going to get the kids and they're going to win football games or they're not. So we just going to have to wait anyway. And also, I don't think you ever want to have a coaching staff that's all made men. I talked about this on the bunker. You don't want a bunch of dudes that are like 50 or 60 years old. You want some dudes like that, and then you want some guys that are hungry, that are striving, who get paid $400,000 a year, and they think they've made it, you know? They're like, I'm making all this money, I got to justify it. You need young guys like that because they're going to bust their ass every single day. And I know Kevin Steele made, $2.5 million last year, which is not to say he was loafing. I don't think he was at all. That's not how he operates. I'm just saying in general. You need some young guys. You have to have young guys. It's absolutely crucial. Big part of what they were doing. T. Will, Cornell. Got to have young guys. Marcus Woodson, before he left for Florida State, was doing work. He's young. Youngish. Patrick D says, who cares about Ken Palm? A fair point. But, I mean, he does keep great stats there. Stats that I care about. I did post some really cool stats the other day from Synergy, which is like the really serious scouting shit. Let's see if I can put that up. This is Auburn's. Now, I posted about this on the bunker. This was on my post about the 2-point shooting. This is Auburn's statistical profile of this season. Now, the play types are ordered by percentage of time they're used. So Auburn is a spot-up shooting team in general. They have been before, and they are right now, even though I don't think of them as great spot-up shooters. And you can kind of see, play type, and then over on the right, the rating there. Spot-up shooting, good, 53 percentile. And then they're very good pick-and-roll ball handler, which is something that's like when Sharif rolls off a screen and goes to the hole, which he's pretty damn good at. They were good at that before Sharif got here, and I think they're even better now. And then cutters, which is something during the Final Four season, they didn't do a lot of that. And I always wondered because they were always ranking really high on cutters. I think they were in the 90th percentile. Shit, let me pull it up. I got it over here. Yeah, right here. Let me lower this one a little bit. This is the same statistical snapshot. It's just the top one now is going to be of 2019. So you can see they were good on cutters. They were very good. Okay. Super good on transition, pick and roll ball handler and isolation. That pick and roll ball handler is almost always going to be Jared and Bryce rolling off screens and driving. And also Samir a little bit. But you can see some of the differences here. The spot up's always going to be number one with Bruce. Again, that's the new stuff on the bottom, the Final Four seasons on the top. Always going to be a big spot up shooting team. That's just what BP does. That's kind of like the fastball of his arsenal, right? You got to have a fastball. Even if you have a great slider or you have a great curveball, you always got to throw fastballs, and that's kind of what BP does. But transition's always going to be an important part of what BP does. But you can see where Auburn slipped a little bit in some ways because this team's so young. You would expect that. So this Auburn team is ranking average in transition, very good in pick and roll ball handler, and very good on cutters. And they run cut more often, 6.6% on the Final Four team, 9.3% now. Part of that's because Jamal's good at that. Also, Cardwell's good at that. Also, Cambridge is good at that. Anyway, I'm fascinated by stats like this. I think some of you guys are as well. I think that stuff's awesome. But that's the profile right there of this team right now. And you can see pick and roll man is actually low right now, but they're coming up because they have a point guard now with Sharif who can see those better. JP didn't pick up on those as quickly. Auburn absolutely gutted Georgia with that particular kind of play. Kentucky played off a little bit more and stayed with the roller a little bit better, so they didn't use much of that today. It wasn't really a low percentage. They just didn't run it a bunch. But look, man, Auburn's transition percentage is way up. Now, today would have been kind of slow because Kentucky wasn't allowing it, but the two games where Sharif was playing with them, their transition was up at like in the 90 percentile just for those two games, so Auburn is coming way up on that. And I would anticipate by the time we get toward the end of the season, that transition rank is going to be more in the 60% range, and it'll say very good. And it'll be the same kind of, statistical profile you see. They're building the same kind of deal. Ambitious Engineer jumps in with another super chat. Absolute beast. Thank you very much, sir. He says, C. Will Cornelius Williams is a young and former D1 receiver. Played high school at Hoover. His in-state connections should come in handy for recruiting. He was a real receiver. Good stuff there, bro. Yeah, he played at Hoover at the absolute peak of their greatness. I think he won 4 state titles in 4 years. And it's also something I mentioned on the bunker. Auburn's recruiting in Birmingham and in Auburn has been not great. I mean, they lost Scooby this year, who went to high school there at Inslee. Or is it Ramsey? Is it Ramsey? Excuse me. Should have won that one. I think Al Pogue busted his ass to try to win it. But I don't want to go down that road again about why they failed in recruiting so much. It wasn't because of Al Pogue, by the way. I just don't think they've done enough in Birmingham. They lose kids out of Auburn, Opelika way too often, I think. And that you can go back to Tubb days, Dye days, Bowden days. I felt like Auburn always just kind of assumes that they're going to lock the kids down from Auburn, Opelika. And too many great players have left this area, or good players have left this area. It's weird to me. So a guy like Cornelius, as you mentioned, ambitious engineer, Cornelius Williams, is going to be a Birmingham specialist who can also kind of work on Auburn, Opelika. Maybe sneak into Mobile a little bit. Josh D asks, any truth to reports that Damian Craig was in Auburn last week interviewing for wide receiver coach? I mean, whether he was or he wasn't, I don't know. But as I mentioned on the bunker, I don't see any way he could ever get hired for that job because of the way he left Auburn and the way he left LSU. He was radioactive. I still am surprised he got a job at all at this level. And then Jimbo, who's kind of like his mentor, threw him a lifeline, so to speak, which is cool. I mean, we all deserve second chances, but I would have been shocked if he had even gotten serious consideration here. Goose Flat says, has Mark Anthony Richards signed anywhere? He has not that I know of. As of yesterday, he hadn't. The talk early on was that he was going to go to Florida State. But I think DJ beat him. DJ got the gig there at Florida State. And so he's still in the portal right now, Goose Flat, but he hasn't gone anywhere. I wonder if they're going to try to hold him because we all think he's a good player. Brandon T says, if it's T. Will for outside linebacker, why is it taking so long? It's a great question. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, the other guys, like if it's, Porter interviewed and he got eliminated. Cadillac interviewed, got hired. T. Will got interviewed, and then you hear like the Jeopardy theme music for 2 weeks. Whatever, a week and a half. We have to assume that he's looking at other people at outside linebacker. I mentioned the Udeze, who was at Vanderbilt last year. He was an analyst for Dave Aranda at LSU when LSU was so sick. He's another young up-and-coming guy who coached defensive line at Vanderbilt. He wouldn't be doing that here because Tracy Rockert's got that, but he has in his background coaching at linebacker, so he's going to be a guy to think about there. And I mean, I was told yesterday, Jay had heard the same thing, that Tracy Rocker, which surprised me a little bit, was a 100% Derek Mason choice, and that's what you want to hear as an Auburn person, I think, because you want a big reason that Harson's here is because Allen showed his dominion over the situation, and now he's giving Harsin full dominion over his situation. And Harson's saying, hey, Derek Mason, who do you want? Let's talk about it. I want to make sure you got guys on your team, on your coaching group that you trust. I don't know. Brandon T says, Guy will be the best recruiter on the staff. It makes no sense talking about T. Will. I don't know about that. I mean, I think Bobo gets undersold on the bunker as far as his recruiting prowess. I think that guy can absolutely lock dudes in, and I think you're all going to be – the guys who are hating on him are going to be shocked by the dudes he brings in. And let's be honest, okay? If he gets Gunnar Stockton, okay? If he gets Gunnar Stockton to Auburn, I mean, you've already made money, so to speak, on the whole deal. I don't care what you're paying him. Gunnar Stockton is an absolute franchise quarterback. He's a beast. I mean, I don't know. I said the same thing about Bo Nix 2-3 years ago, so I'm not saying that he's going to be the next Tim Tebow or anything, but he's really, really good. I anticipate him being the number one quarterback in that class. He's the 2022 class. And if Mike Bobo can get him, that's worth the price of admission right there. Canoeman says, why do we not even have 30 like shit? We can do much better. Absolutely, we can do much better. I don't have a good sound for that one. I've been working on my sound library over here. Johnny K says, can Rocker recruit top-level SEC men? That's a great question. I've got questions about that. I'm not sure that he can, but maybe they're looking at him like, hey, we got dudes here that are going to bring players in. We need some dudes that are going to develop players. And that, to me, is what Rock's best at. I still think he can take players and make them better. Checking in, one of our undercover UK fans, JBDC Elite, who I know is a Kentucky fan because I attended Kentucky with him. And I texted with him earlier today about this game. He says, congrats on the win, Auburn. I guess Kentucky is low-key skipping the tournament this year to pay for past sins. Oh, that's funny. I can't believe I'm looking forward to UK football. This is depressing. There's nobody here who's going to feel bad for you, JB, but I know you weren't expecting that, brother. Canoe Man says Gunnar Stockton would be as valuable as D. Lucky is to us. Yes, he is that good. Wow, that's a big statement right there. He's going to have to be Tim Tebow to fly where eagles soar like with D. Lucky. Brandon T says, I like all the staff hires. You got to give Harsin the benefit of the doubt until he's proven wrong. Fair enough. I like that attitude. Gregory says, look at all those seniors on the basketball roster. Yeah, it's a pretty young team, isn't it? And when they were really in the clutch today, it was pretty damn young out there. E-commerceaholic says, man, that game today was difficult to watch. I don't understand why. First half was. I thought second half was entertaining. Super entertaining. And Auburn's point per possession went up double. They got better. A. Robinson's still trying to prove the old adage, what a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush, saying that Stockton may not be as good as Demetrius Davis, the young man from Houston, who, despite the coaching turnover and turmoil, said, no, I'm signing with Auburn. I'm going. War Eagle. He's coming. We'll see what happens. Corey W. says he found the like button today. I'm glad you found the button, brother. Speaking of that, I was at Kuko's the other night. Didn't see you, but that's all right. We were out on the porch because we had a bigger group. Socially distancing, of course, with other groups. Gregory says, got to do the Gustavo, we're just young and inexperienced. Yeah, but he would say that when he had seniors everywhere. We're still a little inexperienced, no doubt. Texted with Gus the other day. Yeah. I don't really pump it in for information in a way. I just want to see what's up, how he's doing. Canoe Man says, the game ended with a very happy Sonny Smith heading out to get a hamburger. I heard he say that. He said, I'm going to go get a hamburger. And Andy goes, really? He goes, oh, yeah. They had like that, like that don't take me seriously thing. He had a few great one-liners today. I just wasn't writing them down. I saw that we had a thread, though. I meant to jump in, but I just missed it. Gooseflat says, I seriously think if all these guys stay, we have the makings of a Final Four team in the coming years. How about the coming year? You add in Trey Alexander and Jabari Smith to this crew. All you're going to lose is probably Javon. And whoa, this team gets real dirty in a hurry. This gets to look like a Villanova or Michigan State team. You know what I mean? Like just loaded. Just sick. Where you're going 1 through 10 and you've got badasses at 1 through 3, like NBA lottery pick type dudes. Absolutely sick. There might even be people that pick Auburn to win the national championship next year preseason. Like that kind of sick. Johnny K's with me on that. Says BP is sitting on a gold mine the next couple of years. Oh, yeah, Crocosile reminding me of the I'm going to put JT Thor in my will because he hit the free throws late. It's pretty funny. He's the best. I don't know if you guys ever watch the Weather Channel. I like to watch the Weather Channel because there's no politics there. And for whatever reason, there is an inordinate number of live cams from Roan Mountain, of all places. Like once a week, they'll go to a live shot from Roan Mountain, Tennessee. I'm thinking of all the places on earth you could do a live cam from. Why Roan Mountain? And it's usually the show flurries or whatever. I guess the flurries are bigger in Roan Mountain. Ben B jumps in with a super chat. One of my main men from Montgomery, the Montgomery area. Says, thanks for the brain. I don't have anything good to say that one. I got to come up with some better ones, man. I've already played the I'm 40. I love this one. This is the one I do for Brian, although he can't hear it when he calls in.
If I come in here and look swole and big and strong and tough, y'all going to give me that award, right?
It's Allen Iverson, love. Let's Ruxy Poo says, I watched Twister last night, the classic blockbuster from the summer of 1996, I believe, starring Helen Hunt and Bill Paxton, who has passed away, unfortunately. Gus Van Sant, I believe, was the director of that film. Also featured in a kind of a peripheral role was a young Philip Seymour Hoffman. Indeed, indeed. Mamadou says, JG, watching Sharif is the most fun I've had since Marquise Daniels. Wow. I had a lot of fun watching Kenny Gabriel back in the day, but I understand where you're coming from like that. Two different players, but different kinds of players. But, yeah, Sharif is insane. I think Sharif, my favorite thing about him, and I'd be interested to hear if you're with me on this or not, Mamadou Dad, is just the size of his balls. Like, he does not give a shit. Like, even if the odds are against him on a particular drive, like, just doesn't care, man. He's going to the hole. And that's something that he and Marquise have in common. Marquise did not give a shit either. He was like, I'm going. And he played with a point guard, Jameson Brewer, who similarly did not care. And that team, in my opinion, the 2002-2003 team, coached by Cliff Ellis, was one of the best, most overachieving teams I've ever covered. That was not a great team from a talent perspective, but it was a team had a lot of heart, and that team was not scared ever. Corey W. says Helen Hunt is a hottie. Yeah, I don't know about now, but she was. I forgot to mention the bourbon of the day. Got this Foolproof 1792. You guys know how I feel about this. This is really this is a Barton product. It's from the Barton Distillery in Bardstown, Kentucky. 125 proof, which is a little bit hotter maybe than I would normally have. I got a little bit of water here. Put a little something here in the bottle. See what happens. I haven't had a 1792 Foolproof in a minute. Gregory says we have a dispatcher in North Alabama. Looks just like Helen Hunt. Dude, we need to get you hooked up with Corey W. Now, I've seen Corey W.'s girl. She's really pretty. Helen Hunt would be a step down for you, Corey. Oh, that's not that hot. 1792 is one of those, man. If you forget about it, but it's good. And you can find it. Foolproof's a little tougher to find, but the other ones, like the Bottled and Bond, the small batch, very easy to find. And delicious, too. Also, I don't know if you guys out there are fans of Bourbon Junkies. It's a YouTube channel. Two guys, I think they're up in Michigan, or they're somewhere up north, that do bourbon reviews. They are absolute studs, man. See, Goose Flat says, JGT, you need to drink some homemade White Lightning. You know, Leif B hooked me up with some White Lightning. It was actually called a White Dog, which is an unaged Buffalo Trace mash bill number 1. Let's see, E-Commerceaholic says he has a 1792 Foolproof on the shelf along with a small batch ABC store pick. Not bad whiskey. I'm on the Blanton's Gold today. All right, I got a good soundbite for this one. This is when you compare small batch ABC store picks to Blanton's Gold.
Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit.
I'm just telling you that. Ben says, my wife calls that bourbon 24/7. Josh D says, any predictions on what our football signing class will end up looking like? I don't yet. I need to get with Jay Lee and talk about this. You've been able to see the updates on the bunker and also on Twitter too, that they've been going after some different dudes. I know they've really prioritized a running back from Philadelphia, Mississippi. I forget his name. Who just tore it up over there. I know it's Mississippi high schools. They're not necessarily. That's not exactly Texas 5A or Florida 5A, but nonetheless. And he's basically getting a lot. It's going to be a weird pull if they do it. Ole Miss is not interested in him. Mississippi State is kind of interested in him. Southern Miss is fanatical about him. I don't know how you guys feel about that. Jeffrey has watched his tape and thinks this kid can absolutely ball. We'll see. Jason P says it's Bourbon Night is solid too. It's another channel I reckon on YouTube's. I have not seen that one, but I will. I'm going to write it down right now. All right. Bourbon Junkies, though, those guys are speaking my language. They remind me of kind of like, dudes I'd hang out with. And you mentioned E-Commerceaholic, excuse me. I wasn't projecting on you, Bo. It says they are in Michigan. Ooh, Patrick D's drinking some Old Pogue. I have seen that. I've not had it, bro. Seen it, not had it. I'm going to go ahead and fire up the phone line, yo. I bet you Ken Palm has updated some of these numbers. I don't know if it really matters, though. Yeah, they have updated. See, Auburn goes 50% from 2. Here, I'll just go ahead and put this up. Well, it doesn't really matter. It's all the same numbers we've seen. They officially gave JP a DNP. 50% from 2, 20%, well, 21% from 3, 71% from free throw line. And they were ahead of Kentucky in terms of offensive rebounding percentage and defensive rebounding percentage, which is good. Kentucky's a pretty long team. Sharif finishes with 8 assists. They gave him 4 turnovers. I thought he only had 3. But they're probably right. And they gave the team MVP, rightly so, in my opinion, to Al Flanagan. Scores 21 points in 32 minutes, 5 of 11 from 2, 1 of 3 from 3, 8 of 8 at the line, 6 boards, 9 boards, an assist, and 2 turnovers. Not too shabby. They don't win that game without Sharif. They don't win that game without Al either. And I don't think they win that game without Cardwell. He only finishes with 4 points, but he's just a pain in the ass all the time, man. You just have to mess with him all the time, and he's just causing trouble. I want to talk about this. Cassidy P says he's going with E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof, which is insane. This is going to be hard for you guys to believe. Those of you who know, I drink a different bourbon on every show just about. I had E.H. Taylor, like the regular one, the single barrel, yesterday. First time I've ever had it sober. First time I've ever had it when I wasn't totally ripped, because my friend Jason Morgan hooked me up one night, but I came over to his house at like 1 a.m. I barely remember the trip. Jason, if you're watching, I'm sorry. Love to you and Emily, by the way. That's the first time I've had it sober. It is delicious. I'm about to get my hands on a bottle of that from my own personal stash. You know, the stuff that JG drinks when it's just we're not on camera or whatever. A. Robinson says they don't win that game without the players. Man, truer words have never been spoken, bro. Truer words have never been spoken. I mean, if they don't score more points, they don't win that game. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Forgot to turn the Skype on. My bad. I was going to look at Ken Palm, but we didn't need to do that. All right, for those of you who want to call in, and you got we've already had a call that I missed. Sorry, bro. For those of you who want to call in, I am now live. And I know who's going to call in. Our first call is coming in from one of our Hall of Famers, an absolute beast, a man you may know as Why Not AU. What's up, bro?
What is up, JG? How you doing, man?
I am awesome, and thank you so much for your incredible generosity on the Super Chat earlier, brother.
That's how we roll. The whole group, man. Everybody pitches in, so that's the way it happens.
I know you're really stoked about the way this team's current form. I know you're really fired up about this.
I've been fired up about this team every game, even when they were bad, because I know Bruce has a plan. I like watching the plan unfold. I look forward to every single game they play, unlike watching that debacle of a team we had with the pigskin last year. It's just, hey, when you know you got a coach that has a vision and a strategy and actually can execute that, you're okay to watch the guys grow and develop, and that's part of the fun sometimes. So these guys have done it. They play tough, and I love it. I love watching them grow.
Who's your favorite player to watch? I mean, there's so many.
Oh man, it's tough to pick but I want to give a shout out to the whole Flanagan family from Arkansas. If you just think about Al and his dad and what they did in Arkansas and basketball, how many lives they've impacted, and it's no wonder that Al Flanagan is as mentally tough and as great of a teammate as he is. And if you've watched this guy, anything he needed to do this year, he's done. Despite him working his ass off to put himself in a position to go to the next level, when he was told, man, you got to play point guard because we need a point guard, he plays it. He does whatever he needs to do. And the whole family is just a badass family that we're lucky to have as part of the Auburn family. So that's my first shout out right there for AU basketball.
Yeah, and you saw those numbers I posted. I mean, these are numbers that you were aware of, I know, but of Al Flanagan year over year. I've never covered a basketball player at Auburn that
Crazy.
improved that much in 1 year. It's insane.
I know, man. It's crazy. And you could just tell he wants it. You could tell last year. You could see something in him from a maturity and mental toughness standpoint that even though he wasn't the best freshman we had on the court, you could still tell he was something special. And he will be. Absolutely will be. And I would say that after him, probably Dylan Cardwell, man. I love this kid. I love his enthusiasm. I like the way he bounces back when he screws up. Today, the thing that impressed me the most was when he shot the free throw, missed it, and he runs over there as I don't know, what he's 6'11"? 6'11" guy runs over there and makes sure he gets the rebound. That was a big play.
Yeah, he hustles,
and he's
man.
just doing the little things. Yeah, so I love this team. I love Bruce Pearl. I know we're not the best team, but you know what? It's our team, and it's a hell of a lot of fun to watch.
I think it is for those of you, and you're one of this group who invests the time to watch the last 2 months when they have had some low times. Honestly, that Central Florida game was a real tough one to kind of watch and take in. But we all knew because of BP, because of the players on this roster, because of the coaching staff, that they were going to be taking big steps up. And you're seeing them now that Sharif's actually playing and they're getting better. I feel like there's such a reward, such a payout for you guys because you saw the shitty games and now you know what they're capable of.
Absolutely. You know, we also saw the same thing when Bruce got here the first year when he started building this thing. You know, everybody that watched that SEC tournament when Harrell went off, you know, that was like the most fun I've had watching AU basketball since Chris Porter was tearing down rims, man. You know, it's just, you know, it's fun to watch a team that's scrappy, that you know is going to give it their all, that's well coached. And yeah, we might not win them all, but you know that we're out there, we're putting the best thing we can put on the court.
Absolutely.
And you know, people, you know, there were some people down on Bruce. I couldn't believe it. You know, I was like, what? This ain't Gus Malzahn, man. This guy knows what he's doing.
Yeah, somebody started a thread today.
You know,
It was like, how long does BP get a pass for this? And we're all just like, what?
Yeah, these people are crazy, man. But you know what, man? I love Flanny. I love the whole team. I think Bruce instills mental toughness in these guys. They grow. Every one of them, they all grow, and they just become better and better. And it's fun to watch that maturation of the team and each of the guys. And they play within the system, and they love each other, man. They like playing together. You can tell, and that's fun to watch. That's why I make sure I watch every damn game. I love it. Even if I have to record it and watch it later, I just love watching them.
They're fun to watch, man. And again, they're going to win a whole lot more games than they lose from this point through next season. They're not going to be a bunch of losses. There's not. So
yeah, no, there's not. They're going to win a lot more, and you know, I really think, you know, I think Sharif will come back. I just don't think he has the offensive game that he needs. You know, he's no Jared Harper yet, right?
No.
But he's got probably more of an upside than Jared. But I think people forget how good Jared Harper was and how elite his game was. And Sharif, while he's looked good and he's made a huge difference in our team, he's no Jared Harper when it comes to top flight competition and being able to do what he needs to do to make an NBA team.
Yeah.
Not yet. He'll be there. He'll be there. But, you know, proud of the guys, always happy to watch them play. And again, they give it their all. They're all growing. You know, if you look at JT Thor, that guy, he was having a bad game, man. He just couldn't get into it. And then, boom, the light switch went off. And he just balled out the whole last half of the game. And to get up there, I don't know, what is he, 17 years old now?
Yeah. He
17?
Came in early, yeah.
Yeah. He gets up there, 2 free throws, had to make them, nails them. That's mental toughness. That's a guy that's going to be, you know, with the talent he has, but the toughness he has too, the world is his, man. He just needs to keep working and listening to Bruce. He's gonna do it, man. So
For the record,
great game.
For the record, JT was born 8/26/02. That makes us all feel old. So he's 18, but he was actually 17 when he enrolled. Yeah.
Oh man. Oh, to be that.
I know, right? Yeah.
But real quick,
yes,
let's take a journey before I get off and let other folks call in. The old Pogue, right?
Yes.
So old Pogue is a guy named Jack Pogue. He's deceased now. AU grad, vet school guy, Maysville, Kentucky. They brought the brand back, and so the Pogue family started it back. It was a brand from a long time ago, and it went out for a while, and they weren't making it again, and they bought it and started it back, and it's taken off like a rocket ship, man.
Wow.
Really good bourbon. They do an allocation every year. Fortunately for me, I'm on the list, so I get a chance to buy bottles every year. You got to go in person to pick them up, and they don't let you fool around with getting somebody to pick it up for you. You got to take your license and go. I mean, it's a pretty tough operation.
There's a very famous actor who is from Maysville, Kentucky.
George Clooney.
He knows. That's exactly who it is.
Yeah, man.
I'm about to get my
the
hands on
Ohio
some.
River. Yeah, there's a lot of things that have been produced on that along the old Ohio River, right, JG?
Absolutely.
So,
some legal, some others maybe not.
That's right. But yeah, no, old Poe's good stuff, man. Again, thanks for all you guys do. We have a great time. You know, I get beat up on the bunker every once in a while. I made a real faux pas this week.
What'd you do?
I was looking on the Rivals site, and I saw Trey Alexander was shown as unsigned. So my dumbass, I just put a post up. I said, "Is he signed or not?" And of course, everybody just blasted me. But I learned that the Rivals site, I just don't have time to spend a lot of time on the Rivals site, but I learned that it's not necessarily always up to date.
That's correct.
I learned a valuable lesson from the bunker crowd this week, but you know what? It doesn't bother me. I love the damn banter. I love the banter. It's fun stuff, man.
We have good banter.
Fun stuff.
Yeah.
We do. Absolutely. Well, War Damn Eagles, JG, thanks for everything you guys do. I'm going to let some other folks get on the line, but loved watching the team today, like watching them every single game, and looking forward to next week. We just got to keep growing and keep playing hard. That's all we can do.
Why not AU? Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, appreciate you, man.
See you,
Later.
man. Bye. There he goes. Why not AU? Bunker All-Star. No doubt about that. We probably need to get in with BMAT here. I mean, well, nope. We got a call coming in from the man who owns the entire state of Indiana and also part of Ohio. It is one of our Hall of Famers, Mama Doodat. Mama Doodat, what up, bro?
JG, how we doing?
Awesome. As usual, and we're glad to have you on the horn. That means we're getting more awesome. Yeah, I know, no slide on why not AU, but you're an awesome caller too.
Listen, why not AU is I have a better radio voice. He has better super chats, so I think he wins that trade-off.
Do you have a background in that?
I did some basketball in college, just some webcast type stuff, just for fun.
Like at the school where you attended, where you went to school?
Correct.
And you told me, was it Franklin College?
You're close. Yeah, Grace College, Indiana, NAIA. So,
gotcha.
yeah, 1993 NAIA national champs, Grace College Lancers.
Wow. Okay. Did you guys ever play Trancy?
Not while I was in school, but we did play a couple other schools in Kentucky, Union.
Yeah.
And there was one.
Maybe Lindsey Wilson or Campbellsville. I don't know.
Campbellsville, that was the one. Yep. So
that's where Rick Stansberry went to college.
Really?
Yeah, no doubt.
Did not know that.
All right, thoughts on this game today, man? I know you love seeing Auburn just beat UK's ass. I know that.
Oh yeah, nothing makes me happier than that. Although I do have a soft spot in my heart for Patrick Sparks and always will.
You're going back with that one. Yeah.
Listen, anybody that's that unathletic and plays Division I basketball, I have mad respect for. No, good times with him. But no, listen, Sharif Cooper, his court vision, passing, he is an elite passer. I'm not sure, going back again to a former Kentucky player like a Rajon Rondo, just sort of a pass first facilitator point guard. He is elite, and just so fun to watch. Anybody that makes the team around, everybody around him is so much better when he is on the floor. And in my opinion, there's nothing more fun to watch. Early in the year, we were just so sloppy. And as a guy that loves the Indiana fundamental basketball, that killed me. But no, having him back is just so.
Come after me.
Yeah, it's
I'm
huge.
A man. I'm 40.
We just got another huge super chat from Patrick D again. So thank you for name dropping him earlier, giving him the credit that he's due. Also,
listen, he gets it all.
Canoe Man makes an interesting point in the chat. I don't know if you're able to read this in real time because you're probably behind, even if you are watching. He says, Mama Doodad is a football first guy, yet he has a legitimate basketball handle. It's perplexing, and I find it perplexing as well.
Well, Auburn football will always be my first love. I'll never apologize for that. But listen, so back in the day, though, I will say I'm an OG basketball. I've been through the hard times. We used to, my dad would take us to a basketball game when we'd come back over Christmas break to Montgomery every year. And we would always go see just a crappy students weren't back on campus yet game against Coastal Carolina or Wofford or something like that. So I saw some pretty bad Auburn basketball games, and was thrilled to cheer on the likes of Tay Waller and Adrian Person before we were good.
Trey Waller, we used to call him Trey Waller because he could hit so many threes. He's a hell of a player. And you were name dropping Kesey earlier. A lot of times people forget how damn good he was.
Oh my gosh. He was elite.
Something that always sticks out about me about Kesey, though, he was so smooth. You would almost think he wasn't playing hard because he was so smooth in everything he did. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He was effortless, just glide. Yeah.
Yes.
Just if he was a little bit better shooter, I think we're talking about potential NBA Hall of Famer, but just never quite was an elite enough shooter.
I mean, he still got 8 or 10 years in the league, even though he couldn't shoot.
Right, which speaks volumes. I mean, I was at the Celtics playoff game where he came in off the bench and scored 8 points in a hurry. That I think there's still a YouTube video of that stretch. That's really fun to watch if you have some time to go back.
Hell yeah, I was there. I remember a lot of those games you mentioned that were not very good in Beard Eves. Yeah, I've been to all those. Like when they played Air Force and shit like that.
Oh yeah, I still have my the final season of Beard Eves T-shirt somewhere in my house. So, but most fun I've ever had watching Auburn basketball live was it was an NIT game against Miami, and Kyle Davis had a little bit of a block party that night. So the Canoe Man can shove it, basically, is what I'm saying. I will. I love Auburn basketball. Just football is what makes it go.
Yeah.
For the university, and it's an unparalleled pain experience, as many will say. So I love them both. But if you had to gun to my head, I'd obviously take football success over.
Thoughts on the football coaching staff so far, beyond Harsin? I'm talking about the assistant coaches. What are your thoughts right now?
I like everything I've seen so far. I really do. I was glad to see Cadillac retain. I would have understood if he wasn't, but I was glad to see him come back. You know, I've always been a Tracy Rocker fan. I agree, he's probably a mediocre recruiter, but an excellent developer of talent, which is a nice change of pace, I think, just generally for the Auburn football staff. So, you know, there seemed like there's talent to be developed in that group. So I think, you know, Rocker's a good fit. And, you know, who knows how many more years he's actually wanting to coach. So he may be a good bridge for the next guy. Don't know a ton about Cornelius Williams, but obviously guys got ties to the Birmingham area, which will be, you know, much appreciated in some of those recruiting battles.
Yes.
So, you know, I love Zach Etheridge. Just as a player, as an Auburn man. So was cool to see that. But, you know, Derek Mason, to me, was the home run hire of the staff. I think he, I don't know how long we'll have him, just because I think a lot of him, and, you know, trying to succeed at Vandy is obviously a fool's errand. So, you know, no one should hold that against him. I imagine he'd be on a head coach short list, you know, pretty soon.
Pretty quick, yeah.
I'll take him as long as we have him.
Hell yeah. I think that was a great hire.
And, yeah. And I'm fine with Bobo. I don't, you know, I think his, you know, philosophy will mesh well with what Harsin wants to do. And if he can bring us a 5-star quarterback in the meantime, you know, great.
Yeah, he's worth the price of admission right there if he gets that kid.
Exactly. So no, I'm extremely excited. You know, it'll just be interesting to see how we close this recruiting cycle here on the old signing day. You know, there's a lot of holes to fill, and there's obviously questions on you know, the transfer eligibility piece. So there's going to be a lot of work to do. I am a little bit perplexed on how long it's taken to fill that last inside linebacker coach role.
Yeah.
I don't quite understand it. So maybe you can enlighten me here. Is T-Will still, you know, coming into the office every day by virtue of my understanding was he was not.
No, I don't think he is.
But okay, well,
but
yeah, that's what someone on the bunker was trying to tell me, that T-Will's still working.
He's still working.
Yeah,
he's not in the office.
I don't. Yeah. So, anyway, so you know, you would think if he was the guy, you would have made that decision by now. But you know, we must be. I imagine Coach Harsin has his eye on somebody. Every one of these has kind of come with, you know, little. There's not a lot of noise that precedes it. You know, there's kind of a couple breadcrumbs, and then boom, announcement comes out.
I know.
So, you know, so I fully expect that that'll be the trend here. And, you know, I think if it was Travis, in fairness, you know, there's a lot of people that are connected to him that it would have leaked out by now. So, yeah, I'm not holding my breath for that, although I will be sad to see him go. But the rest of the staff, yeah, no complaints for me whatsoever.
It could still happen with T-Will. He's not out of it, but we'll just have to see how this works out. I don't know if there's other dudes. I've got to be other dudes he's talking to, you know. All right.
Yeah, you would think. You'd think. Well, hey, JG, I appreciate it. Always love the drain. Love to call in when I get a chance, and keep it rocking.
Appreciate it, Mamadou. Peace out.
All right. Talk to you. Bye.
There he is, Mamadou Dat. Total badass. We had a flurry of incredible super chats during that great call from my main man. Patrick D dropped another Patrick D bomb, another Why Not AU bomb. Says Trey Alexander is signed, by the way. Yeah. Trey's from suburban Oklahoma City at Heritage Hall High School, which is a team that I used to play against, believe it or not. And that's Patrick D's second Patrick D bomb of the whole show. This guy's just insane. I don't know what to tell you. He called in earlier, Great call. I don't. I just there's no downside to him. He's like the LeBron James, he's good at everything. Mark S jumped in as well. Wardam JGT from AU Smitty. Appreciate you, bro. Let's see if I got a sound for that. I don't have a good sound for that. I need a good sound for that. I need a good super chat sound. The DJ air horn is kind of weighing on my brain now. It's too much. But we're going to figure that out. My bad. So thank you, AU Smitty, for that. Sam H jumped in as well. Said Wardam Auburn basketball. Sam H, frequent super chatter on the show. Either every show or almost every show for a long, long time. We appreciate you, Sam, being part of this and also being in the chat. Corey Dub, we just call him C-Dub. Corey Dub from the greater Montgomery area. Drops in, says, love the show, JG. We love you, Corey. Appreciate it, bro. Don't worry about not getting Hill and Hunt. It's fine. You've done well for yourself. Zachary Young says, the Vanilla Killer has brain freeze right now. I don't know. That's not funny. I'm not going to laugh about that. I mean, the kid's obviously got a little bit foggy-headed 3 weeks later, 2.5 weeks later. It worries me a little bit. Crawdaddy says, yeah, head injuries are scary stuff. Yeah, no joke. He'll be back. He'll be fine. Lawrence, who was asking earlier when the T-Will announcement was going to be, says, JG, what can you tell me about this wide receiver coach, Cornelius Williams from Troy, played at Troy, from Hoover, Alabama. A guy who I would consider to be a Birmingham recruiting expert, but also who recruits the state of Alabama. I think Auburn could do better in the state of Alabama, specifically in Birmingham. I feel like Auburn loses most of their head-to-head battles in Birmingham. T.D. Moultrie was a nice get at the time. He's been kind of iffy as a player, but he was coveted at the time. But there's been a lot of dudes they've lost. Deron Payne they lost. Scooby they lost just recently. I know there's more. They need to do a better job in Birmingham, and I think that Cornelius gives them a chance to do that. Also, they need to recruit better in Auburn Opelika. And as Jeffrey mentioned in the bunker today, they need to recruit better in Phoenix City. Another place where Auburn has lost too many recruiting battles. So hopefully Cornelius can help them there as well. Ravine, who's an absolute badass. You guys know him, of course. He's been part of the show like forever. He even called in once. He called in with a proxy once as well. Says, well, that's W today, boys. We still got a ways to go. I'll catch everyone live on the next train. Got to run today. Keep it up, JG. Ravine, we love you, bro. Thank you so much for that, for being part of the show always. Ambitious Engineer jumps in again. Third super chat of the day. What a beast. He says, did you see Bruce chewing out stretch for elbowing the UK guy, JG? Always funny to see a 5'7" coach chew out a 7-footer. Is BP that short? Because I'm 5'9" and 3/4, and I think he's taller than me. I just think Stretch is crazy tall. He's like 6'10" ish. Yeah, I did see Bruce kind of chewing ass on that. I'm telling you guys, we love talking about Rodney Garner and the ass chewings that he's given out, and believe me, he's given out a few. Not to me, but I've heard a few. But BP, when he's chewing ass, like when he's really in gear and he's really getting after your ass, it's tough, man. Crocodile says Bruce is 6'1". Okay, that makes sense. I knew he was taller than me. I didn't know how much taller. But I know what you're saying, Ambitious Engineer. I know you weren't trying to like quote how tall he was. I was just saying. It is kind of funny when he's looking up at him like, hey, you do that. Mr. Good Tiger says, first brain drain for me. What up, y'all? Enjoying the show. JP is going to cause some real problems for teams when he gets back on the floor with Reef at the same time. Absolutely. That could be a really, really dirty duo because JP, as we mentioned earlier in the show, is a 44% three-point shooter this year, and he was playing point for most of that. So, yeah, I know, Ambitious. I wasn't trying to bang on you about that. I know that wasn't the point of the comment at all. You were just talking about how it's funny to kind of talk up to somebody when you're talking down to them. You know what I mean? Yes, JP and Sharif playing together ought to be some dirty, dirty business at some point because we know JP's got that shooting ability. And I mentioned it on the podcast I did with John Clay, who's the Kentucky writer for the Lexington Herald Leader, who's been doing that for a long time, and he's awesome. I was like, you guys have heard me say this, but it was the first time I got to tell it to a UK group. I was like, your Kentucky people are going to be crying someday because JP is going to rip your heart out, and he's going to piss on it, and you're going to be pissed, and you're going to want to know why you didn't get this kid, because he would have gone to Kentucky if you had shown a little bit of interest in him. As it was, Auburn ended up getting in there against Cincinnati and University of Louisville. Kentucky had not a sniff for this kid, and I think it's going to be something that they rue in the future because he's going to stay at Auburn for a little while, and he's going to hit a lot of threes. And my guess is that he's going to do some of his damage in Kentucky games. At least once he's going to be a headline performer in one of these Kentucky games, and they are going to be pissed. I know these people. And they get pissed because I used to be one of them. Now we've got another legend calling in, my main man, Deezer. What up, bro?
How's it going, Mr. JG?
Deezer! Word, bro. We're having some great callers tonight. We had Why Not AU, Mama Do That, now Deezer 13. Whew. It's a formidable group there.
It.
Yeah, man. How you been?
I had an excellent day so far. Got to listen to Sonny and Andy, and not Andy, call the game, and so I didn't have to listen to Ravage and whoever else there was out there talking crap about Kentucky the whole game.
Yeah, not Andy has the was it the Yellowwood halftime show? Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish Andy would say it
He does a lot of
once.
the pregame and postgame too.
Yeah,
good job.
He's good, man. And I don't know if I've told you, but he and I had a phone conversation back 3 or 4 months ago. We got things straightened out. I still got to call him not Andy though. You know.
There's nothing wrong with that. I don't think he minds it.
Nah, I don't think he does either. Because Andy's a badass. I mean, he really is. Andy's really good.
Yeah, he's excellent. He is extremely excellent on the play-by-play.
And for the UK fans who are watching, Andy is the play-by-play announcer for Auburn. Andy Burcham. Outstanding. All right, Deezer, thoughts about this game today, about beating Kentucky? I know you have a hard time watching Auburn throttle Kentucky, don't you? Oh, no, you don't.
Oh, it was just it was terrible on me. You know, the whole time that we locked down on defense, even though we were struggling on offense the first half, and they locked down on the boards because that's what Bruce told them they needed to do. And then they continued the defense in the second half and took it to another level when they needed to get out in front, and persevered the referees and their Kentucky call and came out with the victory.
Yeah, it was tough to watch. No, I'm just kidding. It wasn't really. Watching Calipari cry about the great tie-up that Jalen Williams had late in the game to get Auburn possession and going the other way. Watching him go, it was a foul. It was a foul. Like, stop crying.
Yeah, I wanted to tell him stay golden, pony boy.
Little Outsiders reference there, huh?
Exactly.
Little Thomas Howell and Ralph Macchio, I believe. Yeah.
Absolutely. Dudes in that movie.
And when Auburn was starting 0-4 in the conference season, Deezer, we had a bunch of people on the chat that were not bothered by that. You being one of them. So in a way, I think you felt like you knew this team was going to come around, and here they come.
Yeah, definitely. I really feel like I think the team learned through this game that even though they had Sharif the last couple of games and he kind of carried them to offensive fluidity and success offensively in numbers that we haven't seen so far this year, especially in the SEC. And when they struggled offensively, but they continued to play defense and hit the boards hard, they may have turned a corner there. And you see some of the younger kids, like somebody had mentioned earlier, that Thor in the second half when he was able to get in there and he made those 2 great steals and then that one rebound, which I think was a little bit earlier, that he passed back to Sharif and he made that alley-oop to Cardwell. Just some beautiful basketball there based off of hustle and good play, playing defense, reading what the offense is doing, and just going after it. And if they can continue to do that, when they do have good offensive games, they're going to blow some people out. I would not be surprised if they don't lose more than 1 or 2 games the rest of the SEC season.
Yeah. This upcoming game against Arkansas is going to be tough, but after that, yeah, you got South Carolina, Missouri, and you got the Baylor game. Baylor's pretty good.
That's going to be nice.
Yeah, Georgia, an Ole Miss at home, and then Vanderbilt they should be. Kentucky at Rupp, maybe. So, yeah, they're going to get a bunch of dubs. I mean, moving forward, Deezer, and folks like you who always believed in this team are going to be smiling big. I know that.
Absolutely. And it's great to see, not that Sharif didn't scored 20-something points and double figures assists, but the fact that he had a little bit of a game where a very athletic team was game planning against him to make sure he didn't succeed, but he did anyway. And he didn't kill the stat line, but he still got 8 assists. I mean, he's averaging nearly 10 assists a game in 3 games in the SEC. That's just insane. I mean, even for a senior point guard, for your first 3 games in the SEC to be averaging that many assists. And he is absolutely a great, great pure passer. And that alone will get you in the NBA. And we'll cross our fingers and hope he's there next year, because I don't know who we have plans for point guard if he decides to go pro. But
yeah, unless Scoot Henderson
we'll just enjoy him while he's here.
Scoot Henderson could reclassify, but my thought is that Sharif will be back and they're going to go off next year. He's got to work on his shooting a little bit, Deezer, I think. He had another difficult shooting day.
Definitely. I mean, it's hard to break into the NBA as a point guard, as a one and done to begin with. It is kind of a deep class. There's a lot of guys out there that have been playing since the outset of the season that are point guards that are probably projected a little higher than him, although he's probably moving up the charts pretty quick. And also his financial situation, I don't think is that needed where it might be a little easier to coax him into staying a year, even if he's in that position, projected as maybe a first rounder.
What's interesting about him is that his shooting percentage overall sucks, but he is 50% from 2, and then he's 6% from 3. So it's kind of, there's a big disparity there.
Yeah, well, apparently Bruce in the postgame today on the radio said that he hits a lot of them in practice, so they're going to start falling.
Word,
and
okay.
I don't doubt that.
Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be good.
Absolutely. If he starts doing that, we may not see him next year.
We'll see. Again, as you mentioned, I think one of the most important things is his family's financial situation. I think that matters. A lot of times you hear kids say, I got to do it for my family and stuff, and he doesn't have to say that,
Absolutely. And I think that you can see, I mean, the way Bruce builds his teams, they work together and they are a family. And you saw a lot of inside stuff. They did a lot of inside stuff after the Final Four team. You could see what was going on with Horace and his kid and things like that. And they are truly a family as a group. And that definitely helps. So as a point guard, and you're a smallish point guard at 6'1",
yeah.
And he really does need to improve on his shot. And he's absolutely elite at passing. But if he can get a good shot, he could be maybe the number 1 pick. If he goes with a team that Auburn would have next year and leads them to a Final Four or a championship, good Lord, who knows how high he's going to go. And that means a lot more money, too.
Agreed. All right, Deezer. Another great call from you, as usual.
I appreciate it, Mr.
Appreciate it,
JD.
bro.
Thanks for all y'all and everything y'all do.
And also, you have a new
Definitely,
title on the bunker. People should be looking.
Yeah, I haven't posted a whole bunch on it. Absolutely positive. I like it, though.
Yes, you bet, man. All right, Deezer, we're thinking about you, bro. Stay strong.
I appreciate it. Have a great rest of your day.
See you, bro.
Bye.
There he goes, Deezer. Believed in this team. I hate to say when nobody else did, because you guys almost all did. But he was one of them right there with you guys. There's no doubt. All right, let me try to get B-Matt on the horn here. Definitely want to talk to him. See what he thinks about that. Cody Man says Hurday drives an Impala. Not even close. Keith M says Dodge. Not even close. Oh, my goodness. So I got B-Matt to pick up, and then it hung up on him. Oh, wait. No, he's calling me now. I can't take Brian's calling my cell phone. I can't take calls on my cell phone, but I can definitely take calls on the Skype number. Oh, well, that's funny.
What is up?
B-Matt, what up, bro?
Oh, not much. I'm about to go over to hang out and drink some brewskis.
With whom and why?
With some old college buddies. They're just in town. I guess some of them went to the game or just wanted to get together, so that's what I'm going to do.
And you're going to drink beer?
Probably a lot of it, yes. This could be one of those nights.
Dang.
Yvonne is dropping me off, so this could be trouble.
Oh, no.
Yep.
You should be able to keep yourself together, Brian.
Well, I mean, we'll see how it goes. I might be able to keep it together.
All right, thoughts real quick before you get out on the town and start showing off your. Anyway, thoughts on this Auburn win over Kentucky? Another Auburn win over Kentucky.
Well, first of all, I mean, they beat the premier team in the league without Sharif Cooper, their best player, playing his best. I thought Kentucky did a really good job being physical with Sharif, but I thought Auburn found different ways to win. Defensively, this team has gotten better in the last few games. They played good defense, I thought, in the first and second half. They out-rebounded a bigger and better rebounding team in Kentucky, and a bunch of offensive boards. They couldn't convert those offensive boards into second chance points in the first half, but they did a much better job with that in the second half. And I thought Al Flanagan was terrific. I mean, he knows how to get to the rim and either draw a foul or finish or do both. He's just a really, really good player. He's super improved from his first season. He's just fun to watch. A great young man too.
And what was BP's attitude just kind of after the game? He's got to be happy about this.
He wasn't like glowing happy, but you could tell that he was satisfied with the way they played, knowing that they didn't play, their best, especially offensively, especially in the first half, but they still were able to beat Kentucky and do it. I don't know if comfortably is the right word, but they made that run in the second half. I think it started around the 10 or 11 minute mark, and took that 10-point lead with about 5 minutes left in that game. Kentucky got within 4, I think, but they really took control of the game there, and it was pretty much over.
Yeah, it's amazing to kind of see, that the same team that a few weeks ago would have just choked this away, bows up and actually makes the plays and puts it away. I mean, a great alley-oop play from Sharif to, I think it was Jalen. JT had some great plays. Jalen gets the tie-up on that UK offensive rebound and creates another turnover. Like, that was just so many great plays there in the last 2 minutes.
And so many different people doing it, whether it was Jalen or JT or Allen or Sharif still had, I think, 7 or 8 assists. I don't remember his final numbers, but he was in double-digit scoring again. Even though he didn't shoot well from the floor, he still got to the line too. And Auburn shot much better in the second half of the line, which was helpful. I was worried that I'd really jinxed them for good earlier this week. But, I just think you look at this Auburn team now, and if it had Sharif all season, I think it's a team that can compete for the SEC championship the regular season. They're not eligible to do anything else, but they got in that 0-4 hole. It's probably not doable right now, but still, this is a really good team. It's going to be one of the best teams in the SEC by the end of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm telling you, BP might have been muted around the media and stuff, but he loves beating Calipari. I promise you, it means a lot to him. And also, we should not finish this game without mentioning that UK's defensive coordinator had a tough one.
Yeah.
AU Taxman says props to the UK defensive coordinator. Great first half.
Tony Barbie, maybe the worst coach in Auburn history, was back, and it was typical Tony Barbie performance. Say so.
Tony Barbie. It was so great to see him on the sidelines again at Auburn. I mean, he's so successful here.
I mean, I was hoping we'd have like a chance to interview him, and he could walk out on us, midway through. That would have been so. It's been heartwarming. It just felt like we were back in 2006 again, or whenever it was.
He had such a great experience at Auburn. It's so many great memories.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, so Auburn's got Arkansas coming up, a trip to Fayetteville, a place where Auburn's had a lot of trouble through the years. What are your expectations for that game?
Well, Arkansas came to Auburn and won pretty handily. I think they're going to know that Auburn's a different team now, but I don't think they're going to understand it until Sharif gets out on that floor and starts playing them. And I think Auburn's going to come with the upset. I think Auburn is a team that's on a roll right now, and I don't think Arkansas is going to stop them. I don't care how good Arkansas is.
Damn, son. All right. Brian calling the upset before he goes out on the town for the first time in years.
Yeah, Yep, it is the first time in years, actually. Yeah.
Word. Hey, good stuff on getting that Cornelius Williams story out earlier today, too, man. Because I didn't see it when it happened.
That was all you, brother.
No. I needed you to help me on that, and I appreciate you doing it. It's always a team effort,
There you go.
All right, brother. Have fun out there. Let's make good decisions. Let's not don't drop your trousers or anything like that out in public. Let's just try to avoid that, okay?
I will do my best to avoid that, yes.
Okay. Be good, bro.
See y'all.
See ya. There he goes, BMAT. You may know him. Some of you old timers may know him as Hebe. He posted under that handle some 20 years ago. Actually, it might be 21 now. Mr. Good Tiger says, Barbie's still the only guy on Twitter I know of that has blocked me. I love it. I love it. I bet you it was something over something really petty, too. Although, to be fair, I block the hell out of people on Twitter. I have zero tolerance for BS on Twitter. I don't even have to be talking to me. If I see you pulling BS with somebody else, I just block you. I don't care. If there's 200 people I blocked, who cares? I don't care. Nash Tiger says AU for life RZ is going to be in here to crawl all over BMAT for dissing Barbie. I forgot to do the soundbite for BMAT.
If I come in here look swole and big and strong and tough, y'all gonna give me that award, right?
I love that clip because BMAT, if you guys know what he looks like a spider. He's got really long arms and really long legs. He's a very thin person. And now that he walks all the time and his neighborhood's really hilly, he has kind of stronger legs, but he has like these little toothpick arms. They're long, but they're like toothpicks. If I get big and strong and tough. That's what Iverson was he was getting all mad at the beat writers about how they were saying he needed to be bigger and get in the weight room. And he's like, I want an MVP, bony as hell. Why do y'all care? Gregor, you had a really funny line earlier, but I can't go back and find it now. It was really funny. And I was going to highlight it, but we got the calls coming in and I forgot to do it. My bad. I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to cut you off. It was a really funny line. If you want to post it again, but you wouldn't know which one it was because you're not in my brain. But I forgot about Barbie until I saw him on the sideline. I forget about him. Like, he's just kind of like a dude that I forgot about. A. Robinson wants to know if anyone else is craving lemons. Okay. I don't know. Roy S. says Cooper's impact controlling the offense has been the best part of the game. Absolutely. Pre-Cooper, we looked lost, and now we look like we have an offensive identity. He just stays with it, man. He stays with it. Keith says, play the Italian guy's soundbite. Yeah, here you go.
Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit.
That is Gennaro Gattuso, the tremendous Italian defensive midfielder who is now he was at the time when he got that that time of that soundbite. He was coaching in can't remember where, but I remember in the same press conference he cussed in 3 different languages, which is pretty impressive. Pocket Watch says, how can you forget the assistant to the head coach? He's like the Dwight Schrute of the UK basketball operation. Nash Tigers just AU Robinson wants a lemon party. Gregory, yes, he mentioned that next year the tickets are going to cost more than JGT's liquor cabinet. Hey, man, I do like my bourbon now. Honestly, guys. Keith M says, love it. Thanks, JG. Appreciate you, brother. Thanks for always being here, man. One of our good chatters, always here for us. Had some good callers today, man. Why not AU just doing what he does? Mama do that. Deezer jumping in. Deezer with a new title on the bunker, by the way. Absolutely positive. Which is what he is and what he's going to be as he deals with any health issues he may or may not have. And then BMAT going out of the town, which to him, years ago when I covered Rick Pitino, we were doing a story about him and Herb Sendek. Herb Sendek was the former head coach at NC State that was his assistant at UK. He ended up going to Arizona State. I asked Pitino about Herb Sendek, and he said, Herb's the kind of guy, his first beer is his first beer. Took me years to figure out what the hell he meant by that. But for BMAT, his first beer is his first beer. He doesn't bullshit. He doesn't lie about stuff. He doesn't feel the need to boast about anything. But really, when Pitino said that, I could not figure it out. I had to run it by Courtney, and even she was a little confused by it. Hornatius, who is the absolute worst poster ever, but he's still a good dude, even though he drives a Jeep pickup truck, says, let's have a lemon party. Hey now. Let me try that again. Let's have a lemon party. Hey now. Good stuff, Hornatius. You're the man. B. Parm gives us a great reset. Auburn basketball the last 3.5 years. Okay. Played 120 games, won 90 of them. And there's still people in the bunker that are like, how long does Bruce get a pass? Bruce gets a pass as long as Bruce wants to be here. Good God. Are you guys crazy? No, you guys aren't, because it wasn't you guys who were asking these questions. You guys would never do that. Of course. I got to remember it's different groups, different populations. Adam G says you talk to him after every Auburn game. How did you forget about him? Ay. Let's see. Gregory mentioned something that was really kind of sticking in my craw because I like the Spurs and I like Popovich. I may not agree with him a lot, but I can still like him even if I don't agree with him politically. I like the Spurs. Going back to when Tark was the coach, honestly. And he mentions Lonnie Walker has been killing him fantasy-wise. Spurs suck. God, the Spurs last night. Good God, dude. They had the game won. We let him off the hook. They let the Rockets beat them, and they were up. They were up so good. They were up like 8 late, and they lost it. Let him off the hook. You want to crown them? Then crown their ass. CC says that was a Bammer that asked that, his 9th post. I did not know that. I also like the name Cece. I like the handle because that's what I like to call my wifey. Her name's Courtney. Middle name is Creel. Courtney Creel, Cece. Nobody else in the world calls her that except me. So if you call her that, it's your ass. Just kidding. You probably would. AU Taxman says you like seeing Cooper throttle it back a little bit at the end of the game today. One thing I want to mention about Sharif, I liked it too. He was better in the clutch today for sure than he was a couple days in the Alabama game anyway because he had some bad possessions late in that game. The fake hit, the face. You guys love ragging on soccer players for faking injuries, and he literally took a elbow to the chin that never touched him. And it was funny as he was walking back after the review, he's kind of smiling like, yeah, I kind of bullshit that one. But even before, he was kind of playing it up. He was doing this one right here. Corey W. says that Denny Green impression was on point, JG. Yeah. The Bears are who we thought they were. That's why we took the damn field. You want to crown them? Then crown their ass. We ought to have that one as a thing too. We really need to do that. Internet Panhandler says, I think it might have caught him in the nose a little, but definitely not on the chin. Yeah, he was still doing this business right here. Let's see. Bob Loblaw said, what did Cal do defensively that causes so much trouble? Honestly, I think it was more a couple things. In the first half in particular, Kentucky was going very slow on offense. Auburn wasn't shooting well, obviously, but going very slow on offense, and I think it just frustrates Auburn when they can't get out moving. They love just getting a deflection or a steal and just pushing tempo. They love it. And they couldn't do that because Kentucky was draining the shot clock and slowing the game down. And also part of it was that they were playing off a little. They were in tune with Auburn's concepts of pick and roll rollers, which they used to just bludgeon Georgia the other night. Kentucky wasn't going to have that. So Sharif was getting the rolls like he was before, but the guy who was cutting to the bucket, which was usually Cardwell or Jalen, they were kind of sloughing off. Instead of pressing up on the screen, they were sloughing off the screen and kind of muddling that pass lane. And so that slowed him down too. But I think the bigger part was just Kentucky playing very slow. And then in the second half, that changed a little bit. Kentucky started pushing the tempo a little bit more, changed some different stuff. They had a lot of crossers, but Auburn seemed to be okay with that, honestly. And Kentucky's shooting, Kentucky's attacking, I should say, first half and second half were about even. They were probably a little below average. I think their PPP was like 0.78 or something like that. Actually, I can get that for you guys. I want to make sure for my Kentucky fans that are watching. They're like, wait a minute, no, it's not what it was. Auburn's PPP in the first half was 0.862, a little bit better than I remember. And then second half was 0.919. So it was a little better than I thought it was. But anything below 1, you'd have to be kind of like, I don't know. So they improved a little bit from first half to second half. Auburn's PPP in the first half was 6.77, which is probably one of their worst halves of the year. Their second half was 1.286, so it's almost double, and that's probably one of their best halves of the year from an offensive efficiency perspective. They had 35 possessions in the second half. They scored on 21 of them. In the first half, they had 31 possessions, and they scored on 10 of them. So big, big difference there. That also includes free throws. I mean, if you get to the line and you hit some buckets, might as well. I mean, a point is a point. Bob Loblaw says, what was our 2-point percentage today? It was 50%. I think it was 18 of 36, as I recall off the top of my head, which is on par with them. Let's see, the last few games, Arkansas was 52% in a loss. Texas A&M was 54% in a loss. Ole Miss was 39% in a loss. Alabama was 60% in a loss. And then Georgia was 71% in a dub. So they get the dub today despite shooting 50% from 2. And then their 3-point percentage was absolute trash. But Auburn was really good rebounding, very, very aggressive rebounding the basketball. I think they had, 16 offensive boards? Yeah, 16. 41 overall, 30 against 38 for Kentucky. So it seems like Auburn, you don't think of them as having that standard huge dude, like a Austin Wiley to get a bunch of boards, but they have a bunch of dudes can get boards. I mean, dude, honestly, Sharif's a pretty good rebounder for what he is. Al's a really good rebounder. Cambridge has been pretty good. Cardwell's a good rebounder for his position. Babatunde's a good rebounder for his position, although he doesn't play that much, right? And then Devin coming off the bench today. We need to talk about that too. Comes off the bench and he's playing pretty good. 5 of 8 from the floor, 13 points. That's good for him. 5 boards. They're just trying to unlock Devin a little bit more. We know he's untapped potential. I know his shot's kind of weird and ugly, but he found a way to help. Corey Dub says, enjoy the show, fellas. Chips and sauce on me next time, JG. Just let me know. Oscar's got us, bro. I was in there, like I said, the other night. They got Makers 46 there. It's probably the best thing they got as far as bourbon goes, but, you may not be going there for bourbon. Appreciate you, Corey, and appreciate the super chat as well. Probably going to wrap it up there, guys. Appreciate you guys jumping on the show. We've gone almost 2 hours. It's great for a basketball show. We talked a little football as well. For the big win of the Auburn Tigers over the Kentucky Wildcats. The hated Kentucky Wildcats, of course. Gregory says it was actually 17 of 36. Well, there we go. Ken Palm lied to me again. That son of a bitch. Yeah, Ken Palm's got Auburn as 18 of 36, 50%. For what it's worth. Also has Auburn 5 of 24 from 3 for 21%. Not good. Let's see. Crocodile says he thinks that Bruce recruited Devin as a rodman, meaning just kind of a glue guy that does a bunch of different stuff, a lot of hustle stuff, and the 3-point was icing on the cake, which, his 3-point shooting, although I think of it as catastrophic, it hasn't been that bad this year. Devin is, oh God, it is bad. It's 29%, which is not good. That's updated as of today, too. Al Flanagan, by the way, free throw percentage, 78.4%, guys. He was 45% last year. Why not AU? He's on this. He knows this. Al Flanagan is insanely improved. Like insane. 2-point percentage is now 61%. Good God. Unbelievable. 3-point shooting for Al he's at 39%. JP again at 44. They're really missing him, but he'll be back soon. He'll be back. All right, so Auburn's next game is going to be the Arkansas game Wednesday night. It's a late tip, so I'm not going to be doing a brain drain after that one. I'll be working on the game wrap, which is something I know some of you guys care about. I like doing it myself, but it takes a little bit of time, and I can't do that and this at the same time. It's just part of life, It happens like that sometimes. So we will say word. I will probably check you guys. I guess the rundown will be the next multimedia presentation that we have. We do on Tuesday afternoons at Voodoo Wing Company. You guys are always welcome to come by and say what's up. Pretty much all 4 of us are there almost every single week. If not, it's always 3. Me and B-Matt and Christian C. Jay Lee usually makes it. So Saturday night, I'm going to be going out for a little dinner with our friends Becky and Cuz. Indeed. If you guys are going to be out at City Grill later, I will be there. I'm the one with the frosted tips. If you guys are out there, if you guys are in Montgomery or whatever. Appreciate everybody jumping in. Of course, we mentioned our callers earlier. Why Not AU, Deezer, Mama Doodat, BMAT as well. All of our super chatters. I got to give a shout out on that one. My goodness. We had some crazy super chats tonight. You guys are insane. Pocket Watch had a super chat before we even started. I mean, it's crazy. Hornatius, Huntsville Tiger 87. Patrick D dropped a couple Patrick D bombs, which is unbelievable. Thank you so much, brother. Crocodile, Ambitious Engineer dropped, I think, 3, possibly 4. Brad E dropped a couple. Jazzy Joe, my main man out there. Holland and Pimpin'. Not actually Pimpin', but just being a stud. Stu Pup kept his streak alive. Unbelievable. So it was a great birthday present. Seeing Auburn beat Jay's UK squad. Also, he had another one too about Ken Palm, ragging on Ken Palm, of course. Ben B, my main man. Mark S, Sam H, Corey Dub, appreciate you, bro. You might be gone already though. Ravine, and then Hornatius and Canoe Man jumps in one late. Says, what did I miss? Just finished shoving it at Mama Dudette. I love these friendly rivalries with Mama Dudette. Hornatius says, chicks we want to poke. We're not doing it tonight. We're not sexist. Anyway, guys, appreciate you being part of the show. Hornatius, I love you, bro. Even though you drive the Jeep pickup and you had to thank your wife for getting it. Come on, dude. Whatever. All right, guys. Appreciate y'all. Love you. Let's make great decisions out there. Remember, if you're drinking and you don't want to have a hangover, hydrate. Emphasis on hydrate. You think JG just sits here banging out bourbon all day long? No. I drink water with it. I always have water with it. And even when I'm at my favorite watering hole, the Tipping Point, which is capably run by Justin Owens, who's an absolute badass. He's a friend of the show, no doubt about it. I always have some water with me, too. Drink the water. Hydrate. Even if you're drinking beer and you're thinking, man, I'm drinking. Why do I need water? You need water. Drink it. Keep it by you all night long. If you don't want to have hangovers, don't get dehydrated. Huntsville Tiger jumps in with another super chat late. One more for the road. See ya. Appreciate you, bro. What can we give you for that one? I can give you a practice one.
We're not even talking about the game, the actual game, when it matters. We're talking about practice.
There you go, Huntsville Tiger. I need some more of these. All right, guys. Appreciate y'all. Love you. Let's make great decisions. Be sure to hydrate. Be good. See ya.